What is going on? Happy Sunday. Welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not going to happen in this video, but that's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Say what's up to it, y'all.
Good morning, everybody. I hope that you like the video, subscribe, support James. I will be off camera. I'm not feeling too hot, but I'm happy to be here.
We are happy that you are here in your state of condition. I am so grateful for you and so grateful that even with you not feeling your best, you're still here to be the best. We thank you so much. Guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to both channels. Make sure you subscribe to Mrs. Best channel because any reviews or recaps I don't cover on my channel, it's because we're at her channel. We have Love and Hip Hop on her channel. We have Basketball Wives on her channel. Right now, we're finishing up Real Housewives of Miami, and she'll have a slew of other shows, and also she does music reviews. So if you are interested in all of that, you'll subscribe to her channel and make sure you tell her James sent you. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. I get a lot of viewers here, but not matching my subscriber count, y'all. I know y'all love me. I know y'all love hearing this, so please subscribe. Get me in that algorithm. Y'all come on, like the video. So now that I got house rules out of the way, let's go ahead and get into Heart and Hustle because this was a very interesting episode. So the episode opens up with Latoria. She is throwing herself a sweet 16 for celebrating her years of how long she's owned her. I don't want to call it event coordinating. I guess I'm gonna call it the PR firm. So she has a PR firm called Lemon Lime Light Entertainment, and she is, celebrating 16 years of that. We get a little backstory of her. She started this doing PR when she was 19 years old, and once she graduated college, she ended up opening up her own firm. So it's now been 16 years that she's been doing it. She's worked with people. They had her featured with like 50 Cent. We had saw her with Shaq. So she has definitely built up a reputation and has a great clientele, and also has about 8 employees that she is also servicing as well, and giving them paychecks and everything. So she decides she wants to throw this huge event. She has her friend Ty, her friend Shaka, and she also has Chloe come in because they're going to be the three that are going to commiserate and actually throw this event for her. So she shows them the space, and it's a very nice space. And the thing about this space is that it actually has a lot of great background centers. So she's able to change up the background and make it something of a theme. So Latoria decides that she wants her theme for her Sweet 16 to be Las Vegas. She loves going to Vegas. She loves being at the blackjack table. I don't know how we get Sweet 16 with a Vegas theme, but you know what? It's not my event. So, Mrs. Best, before we jump into, some other conversation, how did you feel about her theme? How did you like the event space? What did you think about Latoria's, place in this scene?
It was weird. When I think of Sweet 16, I think of quinceañeras and that show that used to be on MTV, My Super Sweet 16. I think of high schoolers. I don't think of this. I think of giving yourself a car. I get what she was trying to do, but if you're going to do Sweet 16, you could have just had a nice little company office party and left it there. Like, congrats to 16 years, Jill. But instead, she chose a Vegas theme, which to me doesn't make sense with the Sweet 16 theme. It didn't make sense. You supposed to be proud of 16 years of success in Houston. Pay homage to the city. Do a Texas thing. You in the bio, in the bayou. Like, do something. But honestly, she's had great success. Good for her. That's what I'll say.
I agree. Good for her. We are, I'm happy to champion her in this because I feel like that is a huge thing. PR firms don't last long like that, and unless you build up the perfect clientele, and as always, make sure you're marketing yourself in the ventures of what she has done. So I'm happy to celebrate her. I just thought the theme of the party just didn't match what she was given, especially when you saw the party. It was kind of like, wait,
Leave
this definitely didn't.
leave 16 to the kids. Let the kids have the Sweet 16. Find another theme. But I mean, either way, good on her for her success.
Absolutely. We still champion her success here at the Watch Your View. So she then talks with Chloe after the other ladies leave, and Chloe's asking her what she needs from her. And she just says, I want you to make sure that you're in communication with the other two ladies, making sure that everything goes smoothly and everything. And Chloe agrees to that. And then Latoya asks, how's Nico doing, which is Chloe's son. And she goes, he really wants to be in the music industry. He said he does not have a plan B. This is fully his passion and that he really wants to do this. And with Latoya being well connected the way she is, she said that she could definitely put him in front of some producers because she knows they're going to be here celebrating her party and everything. So she said she definitely is going to walk him through the path and try to use her connections to help as well, which I thought was a commendable thing. I want more Black people to do this. I feel like it is definitely something we do need to help, especially if we can showcase and see the talent that the individual is giving. We definitely, if we have the connection, should help, especially if it's nothing but a phone call or if it's just putting them in the position for them to market themselves. I definitely think that should happen. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Latoya offering to help Chloe's son, be in the forefront of, some producers and rappers before we get to it?
I think that was a nice thing to do. I agree that, as, especially being from the Bay Area where they gatekeep in the industry and don't support
Yes.
each other, I
Yes.
definitely support it. However, a big problem is that these producers are not at an event looking for talent. These producers are not at an event doing anything professional. They're supporting her out of the goodness of their heart. If you're going to connect her son with people, connect him in a real space. Like, actually talk to your connection and be like, hey, could you do me this favor? Because just putting someone in the same room as a producer is not going to guarantee that they come out of it with anything. It's just not.
I can
But
understand that. Yeah.
she's not a part of the industry. She just kind of protect their images, so I can understand why she wouldn't know the difference. But I don't know when I'll get to comment on that. Her son using the rap as his sole like career, but whenever we do talk about that, I would love to give my opinion because I'm annoyed with this child and his mama.
Okay. Well, we can do that when he gets his showcase to meet the rapper he did meet. So we'll do it at that point. So after we leave this scene, the next thing we see is Labrina. Her and her husband Will are outside talking. At this point in time, her son, which they call Pop, I don't know why they call him that. I just whatever. Has decided that he's going to be half at his dad's house, half at Labrina's house. And when they started doing this arrangement, they noticed that his grades were slipping. And she has a big problem with that because she didn't agree to this for the grades to be slipping. So she the son walks up and they begin talking with him. And Will kind of puts it in the standpoint that he really didn't want Pop to leave. He really didn't want him to go, but he understands that that is his blood, that's his father. He needs to be spent time with his father. But it was really given, well, what about me? Like, I've been here from the beginning. I helped you. Like, I got a college fund for you. I don't look at you as my stepson. I look at you as my child and everything. I had a problem with that, y'all. And I know that we need to start championing men who step up to the plate and men who, look at, when they marry into a situation that, if the woman has children, that you look at them, we do need to champion that. But at the same time, it was given like, and it could be just me, but it was mainly given like you wanted him to choose and he's chosen and you're not happy with the results. And that to me is where I kind of was like, I don't know about this because the thing was just weird. It was just like, were you trying to guilt him into making him feel bad about choosing to live with his father half on half? Like, I just didn't understand this thing because it was like, well, what are you talking about? I mean, it doesn't seem like his biological father was not present. It seemed like he's very much active in his life. So what is we talking about here? So, Mrs. Best, maybe you can make better sense of that thing than I did because it was just strange.
I didn't care for the scene. I was looking at Labrina's leave out the whole time in the wind. Um, my thing is, what else do you have to talk about, Labrina? I'm all for her wanting her child to get his grades up. I can understand how changing households on a weekly basis could make it hard to maintain grades. I think a good example is an adult that's trying to date or be in a relationship with someone that they don't live with while they have their full-time job and other stuff. Like, it's a lot to go through your day to day and then also have to go out of the way. So I think they need to give the boy some grace. If his grades slipped from A's to B's, let it go. If the grade slipped from like A's to D's, then I'd be like, okay. I do agree with you. It did seem like a lot of the scene was just to stroke the ego of Labrina's husband. Um, I don't know. Labrina hasn't said much to us about her man other than his willingness to take in her child from somebody else's man. So I don't know much and can't say much about this couple's connection yet, but he did give like, I'm the one that's here. Now you want to go off the old dude, which is fine because it shows some type of care. But I just was kind of bored with the scene. I was like, I want to know about Labrina. I want to know about this man. I want to know about their relationship. I don't want to see kids making the mistakes that all kids make at some point in their life aired on TV. Like, I
Hmm.
was a 4 point. I was on honor roll whole time I was in high school. At one point, my grades slipped from straight A's to B's, and my mom and my stepdad tried some shit like that. Put together a conference at the school, and they're just like, "She's not doing bad. She," So I felt like they were a little too hard on the boy. You acknowledging that he got a lot going on. What you gonna do? Say you can't see your actual daddy because your grades are slipping? Like, that's not his fault. So I would rather them talk about their relationship and not see the kid involved. Like, I'm bored with Labrina so far because we don't see much of her. Then we get a little bit of her. She do some messy shit with that date. Then we come to this episode and she letting her husband run the show as it relates to her son. Um, so I'm just bored with her. I want more from her.
I want more from her too. And if y'all were going to put this on TV, then you need to explain because why was the son in tears crying, saying he felt like a burden to them? I needed more context on that because how in one sentence your husband is saying, I look at you as my son, you this, you that, and then your son coming across saying, I felt like a burden to y'all. So those two do not, you know, coexist. They don't. Like, was there some trouble that he got in and it frustrated y'all? Was it like I needed them to explain more? Because if we're supposed to buy this as your storyline when you come on reality TV, it has to in some way make sense. It seemed like we were getting one story and then we were getting the total opposite. And another thing I want parents to stop doing is stop raising your sons to not be joyous and not smile. And not, it wasn't just her son, it was Chloe's son too. Y'all are raising these kids to be tough all the time. And I don't know if that's just a product of their environment, but I hate seeing kids that don't show joyous, don't show excitement. Like when you look at, like, let me give you an example. Phaedra Parks' kids. Those kids are well spoken. They smile. They're happy. They can express their emotions. They can express their feelings. They can, like, I hate to see black kids on camera and then they just look like they're with The Walking Dead. It's like, why are y'all like this? Like, I don't like it because it screams there's something more going on without y'all saying there's something more going on.
There's the thing of it is there could be something more going on, but there also very well could not be something more going on because teenagers sometimes just have slips and dips. Who's to say if his daddy wasn't around and he stayed in a stable place that the boy's grades would not have slipped? So that's the thing, and that's why I'm a big advocate for the kids. I do not, under any circumstance, especially with my education, I do not think that it is wise or smart to put kids, especially at his age, on television. If
Yeah.
you want to be the fuck on TV, then her and her old ass husband need to use their own selves and their own storyline. Let that boy be. Like, Chloe talks about her son's struggles, but she doesn't then like use her son as her only storyline. Like, she talks about her son a little bit, but she's also showed us her relationship with the young boy who could be her son. And then she's also showing us her issues and how she integrates with this group and business. Like, Labrina That's too much. All she's talked
That's
about
a
is his husband and that son whole time.
That's a great example that you just gave because that's exactly what my point is proven. The only reason why Chloe had to bring up her son is because she had to tell her son that she is dating a guy who's not that much older than he is.
It was
And
necessary.
it was very necessary for her to do that because now she's on a public platform where that's going to be seen on national TV that could affect him. So that's why she said, okay, well, and you see her son's reaction. He was pissed about it because he was like, "What the hell are you doing? Well, this ain't hot, Mama Summer. Like, what is you doing?" So it was kind of like, yeah, that instance made sense because that affects him. And then she realizes that with his struggle, she plays a part in it because she thought in her mind she's done being a parent at 18 when the kid gets 18, and she didn't realize you're always a parent. So that was some growth for her. With Labrina, I don't see that same thing. She's like, it's like she's almost hiding something, and I want to know what it is now because your son is saying one thing and your husband saying another, and it's like, well, damn, which one is it? And then to see your son being visibly upset, like he looks sad, and it's like, I don't want that young man, as
I
handsome as he
will
is.
give the stepfather credit for telling that young black man it's okay to be emotional,
Yes,
because that and I do feel that's why I say I do feel like as a stepfather he really stepped in and cared for that young man as if he was his own. And that's
hmm
probably where the jealousy is coming from, but that's where it's important for Labrina to have the boundaries as a mom.
right.
Take the time to talk to your son about some shit without that man around, because that's still a stepdad to him in his eyes in some ways. But either way, Labrina don't have to show us all of this. I feel like she's gonna try and make this boy. She's putting her son in a situation to where he can be made to look more problematic and damaged than he actually is. When what I'm looking at, it just seems like a teenager that is probably dealing with a major shift with having to be around his dad like that suddenly. And it's something that he can overcome. Like, but I feel like the editors and the way that she's leaning on him for a storyline is going to make him look more damaged than he is. And he's just a regular kid. He seems to be a good kid, just going through some changes. Hell, but so far, I'm
I'm
not
hoping
feeling
that
it.
is. No, I'm hoping that's what that is. I really do because it nothing aggravates me more than people using their children for storylines and stuff, and then when we get the storyline, there's like a grave detail that's not being said, and like it would make sense for us to have Sebastian, for you, because and I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't see it for Labrina. I just don't, based on because I felt like once again, and I'm mad that, and you said she wasn't going to do this. I'm mad that Latoria didn't call her ass out. I hope at that winery she called her ass out about that day because that was fucked up.
I
That
don't
was
even think
shade.
if she called it out that it would go anywhere. Labrina gives me she's on the show because of pretty privilege. She also
True.
gives me somebody that is on the show because it seems like they have a good mesh of women. They did really good casting. They have a couple women who are single and dating, a couple women that are just chronically single and married to their careers. They got a couple women who are married and in relationships that they probably been in for too long. And then they have some that were single parents that ended up remarrying. And then they even got a widow on here. Like, everybody serves a purpose, but I need somebody who has the boxes that Labrina checks, but just are a little bit more interesting.
I agree. So with that, we are going to move on. So we then get a scene with Latoria, um, Ro, and Chloe. They meet up for lunch, or I guess this is lunch. I don't know if there's just drinks and
I
appetizers, but
was confused too, because I was like, on one end, it looked like they was in a coffee shop that might serve like some sandwiches, some antipasti,
right.
some stuff like that. But then on the other end, I saw drinks. Rose wig looked wet and it stressed me out.
We just can't get past these hairs, y'all. We try, but
I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be
right.
quiet.
So they began talking, and somehow the date comes up that Labrina said Latoria on. And very politely, Latoria says, nice man, very handsome, just not my cup of tea. And Chloe give her this side face, like, why? And I'm looking at Chloe like, you know, Come on. Now y'all know damn well when she was giving out them details about this man that that is not something that she needs to be with. First off, this man has a daughter her same age, or that would have been in high school with her. That's a red flag all within itself. Because what that says is I've already lived life that you want to live. I've already done this. Why would I start over? So that's not the right cup of tea for her. And we don't get into this day because me and Mrs. Best were talking about this. We were in text messages. Honestly, Latoria, I want you to venture out and date other ethnicities of men. I want you to do that because I feel like in one instance, I understand you were all about your career. You were all about having, to make sure you have stability. So now that you have that, I want you to be open to the possibilities that your man may not be a black man. I want a lot of women who are successful like this, that the man you end up with may not be someone who looks like you. And that should be okay. Like you should be okay with dating outside of your race. Now, does that mean that internally you'll never find a black man? No, there's plenty of them out there. But if you're trying to get out there and get yourself to date and stuff, stop listening to your friends that set you up with one of the little girlfriend's dads and then thinking that that's supposed to be satisfying for you because it's not. You need someone that is on your level. You need someone that probably does, business entrepreneurship just like you do. And sometimes those men are not black. Sometimes they're different colors, but that should be okay as long as they find what's the problem. So I want her to lean more into that because she'll waste her time trying to find you know, what she's probably not going to find in her state. And, especially being afraid of horses and that being the country. I'm just saying, Mrs. Best, do you feel any differently?
I do think, honestly, for everybody, I feel like it's good to date whoever your heart calls you to. Hi, Shani. I like my younger sister date only white men. She loved colorless men. I asked her one day, I said, how come you do that? Because our dad was a Panther. Uh, we grew up very, very black. And so I'm like, how do you go from 89th and Birch to dating only white men in tech? And she just said to me, she's like, I don't know. Like, I was chronically single, waiting on a black man to get at me. But white men would hit on me. She would be like Indian men would hit on her. We live in the Bay Area, is very diverse. And so she just stopped fighting it and stopped specifically waiting for that black love. And she just dates who shows interest because she likes for the man to do the work. I said, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I think if more people had that attitude, they would find out things that they like that they didn't know they would like, and they would also become more cultured because to be cultured is to truly understand culture from every other aspect. I ended up marrying a black man, but I've dated white men, Hispanic men, Asian men. I've dated probably the rainbow at some point. Date who treats y'all right. That's always my thing. But Latoria, she went to an HBCU. She grew up in Houston, Texas, born and raised. Uh, hi, bro.
Hi, Ro. Thank you for joining us, my love. We appreciate you, and I do love you on the show. But we glad that that show here, she don't wear wigs. Okay, thank you
Amen
for
to that.
correcting us. We love it. Love your natural hair. Thank you for being here.
But Latoria, she needs to. I feel like she may value dating a black man. She went to a HBCU. She grew up in a very black town. I'm all for black love,
Me
but I
too,
do
because
think
I'm in.
she should open herself up to whatever is available. Now with the old man, I'm on her side because don't ever hook me up with no fucking old man. Don't do that. Do not do that. Especially one like you said that got a daughter that I could have went to high school with. That is crazy. That is crazy. But then also, like she said, they just didn't align. They didn't align. He wanted no more
They were never
children.
going to align. That's the problem. They were never going, and that's why I said I have a problem with Labrina because I'm sure she knew this. Like I know you didn't think in your grand scheme of things of setting your friend up with someone who is relatively that much older that they were going to have much in common, especially she has a fear of horses and he's a horse trainer. Like I'm sure you did not think in your right
There
mind
was
that
no effort put into
there
that.
was not. There was not. Like
Like
I'm
if you go
sorry.
hook somebody up, I don't care if the nigga is like what we see on Bell Collective. Letitia set up that date for Marie. I don't care if it's that, but put some type of effort into it. You know your friend, you know what she likes. Why would you set her up with the exact opposite of what she wanted? And I'm looking at Latoria like that's my beef with her on this show. She's too fucking nice. She's way too fucking nice. I would have cussed my friend out up and down. We would have worked through it, but I would have cussed her out like, bitch, you know not to set me up with no old ass man. This man is retired, kids is grown. They ready to pay for him to go into a home, and you trying to send me out with him. She ain't right.
She
Latoria is too
not. That's what I
nice.
said. I'm still mad at that. Like, it's gonna take me a minute to get over that because I would be so insulted. So speaking of Rose, shout out to her. She in my chat. But she also explained that she is, resigned from her job and she wants to spend more time with her daughter and, just kind of enjoy life. And I love people who do this, like realize that jobs take up so much of your time that you need to take a leap of faith and do something that you enjoy doing or you enjoy being around family and everything. I, you know, I struggle with that myself, battle to battle. Like I need a job because I have to live, but also I do take a lot of time working, and I don't have like my entire 20s. I had two jobs, my entire 20s, and I missed out on fun. I missed out on just realistically living a life that I should have been enjoying in my 20s, not working throughout and didn't have nothing to show for it. So it was kind of, I felt wrong at because I was like, yes, that is definitely a great decision that you made. And I'm not saying this because you in my chat. I'm just saying this. I feel like I love people who take that leap of faith. It inspires me so much because I'm an author. I still don't have a New York Times bestseller. I've been on YouTube 2 years. I'm still not monetized. So I'm trying to find my avenue as well. So I love when people tell this story because it inspires me to want to be able to do that myself. So when she was explaining, her reasoning, explaining, what this does for her and how that is, you know, something that she's been contemplating and finally did it, we were proud of you, Ro, for that because a lot of people want to do that but don't have the avenues or don't know or don't have the resources to say, yeah, I'm gonna walk away from my job. This is, what it is. So we appreciate that. How did you feel also, Mrs. Best, with Ro making her announcement?
I respect it. I do. That's what I like about this show because every woman on here is relatable and checks a different box. I did that years ago. I walked off the job on the clock, threw them keys at them colorless people, and decided to go to college. And it worked out for me. Now I'm able to do more and things like that. Everybody should do what they're passionate in. She's also the one on the show, right? That was in a predominantly male dominated
Yes.
industry. So, like, as a woman that's worked in a male dominated industry for years and years, if you could do that, you can really do anything. Walk the hell away. None of these jobs give a damn about us.
Right. We
Like,
appreciate
none of
you.
them.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Ro, dropping in. Make sure to tell all your girlfriends to drop in. I would love to spend some time with you guys. I hope this show picks up more episodes. We hope you guys get a season 2 or a continuation. But we appreciate you very much. You have a beautiful day as well. Thank you for stopping in. Oh my goodness. So, is there anything else I wanted to add on that scene? Did Chloe have something that was going on in her life that we needed? Oh, yes, the invitation. I was like, wait a minute. I feel like, wait a minute, I'm skipping somebody. No, the invitation. So Labrina sets up for them to go to a winery that is in Houston. It is beautiful, and all the ladies pretty much accept the invitation. And I'm taking that with a grain of salt because after Labrina's, matchmaking skills, I'm hoping that this event come out well. I have faith in you, Labrina. I do. But that date kind of set me back on you a little bit because I'm like, look, I
She
just
was
because
being shady. I feel like she was being shady. She had to be. I hope they get a reunion. I feel like she had to be shady.
I hope they do
Please
too
just
because I
admit
need some
it.
answers. I do. I need some answers. I need to host this reunion. I just need to. If I had more friends, I would have them up on here with you two live. Sorry, not many people like me. We
You
love
are
you.
lovable, my darling.
We love you here. That's okay. The fact that you show up every single time for me, that's quite enough. So don't worry about that, Shani. When what God has for me, no one could be against me. So
The
I'm not
people
worried
that
about it.
don't
It's
like
going
me at work, I just bark at them. Let them think you crazy. Why not play into it? I sure do. I bark and I growl and I hiss, and it works. They stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah. So, and you know another thing I wanted to also bring up, you guys, I enjoy doing this with my best friend because it's the stuff we do on a regular basis, just anywhere. We're just sharing this with the world. So if I get like I can't wait to get monetized. But if I don't get monetized, I'm okay. Like I really am. But because this is what she and I do. This is we just pretending we on the phone. That's all we doing. So we good. But thank you guys for always supporting me. I do. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. So we're gonna move on. So it is the day of Latoria's event, and I must say I loved how she came in. I love the cars. I love how she was representing her city because she was born and raised in Houston. I love the rep of everything because that's how we do it in the Bay Area as well. So I was feeling all of that. Loved how she walked in. Everybody was there. All the casts were there, and Chloe did bring her son Nico to the event, as she said, she would at the beginning of the scenes and everything. So Latoria made her entrance in her silver Beyonce inspired dress with a little puff. And the reason I say Beyonce inspired because it brings me back to her tour she had before the Cowboy Carter tour. I think it was Renaissance. It brought me back to Renaissance tour, like it really did, because that's what that outfit reminded me of. But she looked pretty nonetheless. She had a scene. I'm not going to mention the scene because it was all her friends. She was catching up with them. They all flew in for this event, and Elena did her makeup, which it looked okay. So I wish Elena probably would have softened it just a little bit, but that's just my opinion. I'm a guy, I don't know much about it. It just
She
kind of looked a little
did what
harsh.
she could with the canvas of which she was provided. I thought the makeup looked fine.
I thought it was just a little harsh. I think she
Uh,
needed to warm up the colors just a little bit. Just a little bit. So it turned sorry, y'all. My man texted me. Sorry, I get distracted. I still love him like that. But anyways, we gonna go back. So as she changes into her, walk through event dress, whatever that was. I don't remember what she said. She begins making a speech, and y'all, as I said, I connect with Latoria on this because I lost my father last year, and I connect with anything. To keep going is hard because I did not keep going. I kind of took a long pause in my life, and my dad wouldn't have wanted that. So when she was making her speech, I actually did have some tears because I know what she's going. Me personally, I know what she's going through. So, but when she makes her speech, she also announces in her speech that she is going to walk away from doing PR and focusing more on community and also other business and project endeavors that she has, which, um, you know, I commend her for. I don't know, and I'm gonna ask Mrs. Best this because I was gonna text her this, but I was like, I'm gonna see her in an hour, so I'm just going to go ahead and just let it know. But when she said she was walking away from something that gave her high success, Mrs. Best, I know we just championed Ro for doing this, and I want to make sure I champion Latoria as well. Do you think, like, in the grand scheme, if something that well was working for you, could you walk away from it like that? Or do you think that decision of something better is there for her? She has to kind of believe in that. Because she says she made her mark. I don't know if
I mean, she did well. Me personally, I wouldn't walk away from it. I would maybe keep it going and also work on the community stuff that she wants to work on, but everyone's different. So, I mean, good for her. I mean, either way, I feel like what she'll do, she'll be successful in. Obviously, she knows what she's doing, and she's had a work ethic that's unstoppable, it seems, since 19. So, it was like, good for you. The speech was a little long, in my opinion, a little long and dramatic. I empathized with it, but I don't know. Like, what does that mean for the existing like employees? Are they going to now like shift to work on something else?
I thought about that too.
Yeah.
I
So
was like, are they coming with you? You bringing them
they
with?
saw some of the crowd in the background. They were like, "What?" Like they did
Yeah.
not sound the happiest.
I was
And
like, I
the
was like, wait a minute, I hope that
nosy
wasn't the employees. I'm like, shit.
I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm just a nosy black lady at the end of the day. So I'm in my head, I was looking at the crowd and the camera got the crowd and I was like, everybody looked a little like the hell. So and then you telling people while you're in tears. So it was just a lot, but I don't know. Latoria, no shade to her. I get that she's successful. I get that she's well connected, but I don't think reality TV is for her. I think that's what
I
my
don't-
thing is with her. Because I'm like, there's something about her and I can't put my finger on.
She's
And
too
it's
nice
not
for
that
reality TV. Like
she's
to
not
me,
for reality television.
yeah,
She's too
and that's the
genuine.
thing. I feel like reality TV for her, because this is a reality TV is a cutthroat industry. It's made for people like me because I can handle it. Trust me. But like for her, she's so sweet and she's so like you just can't help but love her. But you know that reality TV can ruin people too.
I think
And
that's what it
I
is.
don't want it to ruin her. I really don't. And I think that's why I have a hard time connecting with her saying goodbye to my business. I'm going to focus on something else. And I'm just like, I don't know if I would have did that on reality TV and said it like,
No,
I don't know, I would have made that choice on reality TV. Like if I made the choice later on,
because now you
then
can't go
fine.
back.
Yeah, because
You
and the thing about the difference, I know people are like, well, you were just champion Rose. Rose's situation is she was working for somebody else in that kind of atmosphere in a male dominated field where she's a woman. What Victoria has is her brand built business that has been giving her high success. And she's joining a TV show in her first season where we don't know if this show is going to get a season two or if she would need to make the connections if the show were to go away. Like, what happens then? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really. I just think she did this too soon. I think
She
that's what I'm.
definitely did it too soon. It also makes anything less interesting. If you want to transition into community reach or community work, whether it's outreach, whether political, or if you're just trying to create jobs for your community, you're going to have to go about it in a way where you pay attention to how you are received when you're at work and not at work. And reality TV does sometimes make that harder for people. So I don't know. I just feel like let the other woman have the shine. Like let her be like the person they
Right.
come to for advice here and there if she has to stay on the show. But we don't. I don't need this much of this lady because even if we see her date, I feel like she would be so uncomfortable doing it on camera uh, that
Well,
we
I wouldn't
won't
want
just
her
be
to
able.
do it on camera. That's the thing. Because I don't feel like even if she were to like start dating on camera, I don't feel like the caliber of men it would be a serious thing because then you would have to weed out which man wants you for you or who wants you because you attached to the TV show. And I'm going to notice that right away when I watch it. So that's why I'm like, I don't even want her to do that. Like, Latoria, if you watching me, sweetie, I know Ro watches me, but sweetie, if you are watching me, please reach out to me and let's have a conversation and let's get on. I mean, on YouTube so we can set some intentions because I don't want men coming on this show and if you decide to date on this show and just completely just pull the wool over. I know because you have to weed out these men. So come over to Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. I am here for you, my love. And we're going to make it so that way, you stop trusting some of these friends of yours on this show. And, when you date with the intention of, okay, if I find a black man, great. But if I
The
don't,
way she is with dating, she needs to be with her friends. When she was on that date with that man, her discernment was on point. She did make the effort. So I think she has potential to find someone if she dates, but I think she needs to apply that to her friendships and be more direct
yes. And I think
in
that's where I'm coming
communicating
from.
with them. That's all she needs to do. And with dating, I feel like she needs to relax and go with the flow, or she needs to hop her ass on the eharmonymatch.com, pray to God that she don't find a serial killer, and go from there.
Or you could even go, go to another country and get you somebody.
Oh yeah, that's what Adriana be
Because
doing.
because because let me tell you, had I not met mine, that was my next cue. I was going to the country where it's illegal to be gay and find me somebody and bring his ass back here.
Hmm.
Because I'm sure I was hoping to do that. But
Shandy,
luckily,
I'm not on camera because I'm not feeling well. I'm
oh,
sorry. I'm down bad. I'll
oh
be
yeah.
on camera next time. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you, yeah. So go to a different country. Go to Dubai. They have they got some handsome ass ones too. So y'all, yeah, go to Dubai. You know, or maybe go to Ghana. Ghana's another place. Ask Andy and them on Love and Hip Hop. They go to Ghana all the time. But anyways, y'all, let's move on. So she then is finally introduced to Nico, which is Chloe's son. They meet for the first time, and she's talking to him about what he wants to do. And I feel like, young man, this was your time to say what you do, say what you are, say what you experience, and everything. He was quiet the entire time, which kind of in some ways kind of frustrated me a little bit because I'm like, damn, you let your mama do it all the talking. You let this lady answer. Like, show what you about. I know, and like Mrs. Best said, this may not have been the opportunity that we would have wanted. Maybe something a little bit more professional and private because this was her party to announce her retirement from doing PR. So maybe this wasn't the event, but she had the people there. So opportunity, is small. So we're gonna take it where we can get it. She brings Lil Flip. I only know one song from him. It's the Sunshine song that he had with that young lady. I remember they used to play that
That's
shit all
the
the time.
only song I know. Have to be in love.
Right. They still play that shit in Phoenix like you would not believe. Because didn't he redo it? I think he redid the song, if I'm not mistaken. Did they do like a revamp of that song? I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, every song that's popular today is a remake of the songs that we listened to growing up. It's a sad thing. So,
It is a sad thing because creativity just not about. But they, Lil Flip was like, yeah, why don't you take my number down? I'm starting a new label, and we can maybe have some conversations. So I'm hoping for Nico's sake that it does work out for him, and that maybe this gives him an opportunity not only to get his name out there, but also put him in positions to where it gains him some experience. We're hoping for that, but Nico, you got to open up your mouth. You got to say what you do, showcase your talent.
let
Say,
me
hey,
tell you this. A piece of it, Chloe's boyfriend is right. This young man doesn't have no drive. Let me tell you why. My man is introverted as hell. My husband is genuinely an introverted, quiet, calm dude. Super calm. People be surprised because he's not calm with me, but he's calm. But when he performed his song and when he does his music because it's something that he loves, that is the only time I have seen this man network across an entire room, take phone numbers, which led to connections and finding producers, engineers, people that just could game him up. When you are an artist of any sort, and James could probably attest to this as an author, you don't just find a publisher sitting quiet in your room. You have to get off your ass and network. James was going to events. I couldn't catch him. I missed when the damn book came out because he was so busy promoting and working toward it.
when I
Whatever
tell
you
you, yes.
do, you sell yourself on. Even though this wasn't the place as an artist, if he really wants to be a rapper, we ain't even heard him spit one bar, and he done been in a couple episodes of this show. He done, I want to be a rapper. This we ain't seen the nigga write nothing. We ain't seen him spit a bar. We ain't seen him make a beat, listen to a beat, shop for a beat, make a connection. We've not seen him do any of that. I think this young man is lost. I think he did get comfortable. I think Chloe's boyfriend is right. You're nothing in life is going to come to you if you don't do the work for it. And I feel like he's waiting on somebody to like hand it to him.
And that's a problem because at the end of the day, yes, your mother has connections, and yes, she's well known in Houston. But at the end of the day, she only can want it as bad as you know a fan. Really, if we're being honest, you have to want it for yourself. That was your opportunity to speak up, and maybe he did, and they just didn't show it. But that's one of the things about flawed reality TV is that they're probably not going to showcase private conversations and things that will show us that yeah, you really serious about this if you have no plan B.
But what he can't say now, not to sound highly African American, but what his narrow behind can't say is that his mama didn't try and help him.
Yeah, you can't say that.
So in a year or two, if she asking, well, what the hell you done? Can I at least hear a song? What you doing in between these songs? What you doing to fund these songs? Because you
And
could get signed all you want, but everything is borrowed.
absolutely. And also another thing, one of the things I'm learning as I get older is you have to have a plan B. I'm sorry.
You do.
I want to be a New York Times bestselling author so many times. I've written over 27 books. Only 2 have seen the light of day. And so for me, I have plan B. My plan B is getting up and going to work every day. Do I like it? No, because but at the end of the day, I have to pay bills. I have to live.
That's
I
what
don't,
he's missing.
and I
He
think that
wasn't instilled that, and that's what Chloe. That's where Chloe really did go wrong. When she understands it, so I don't even want to come at her for it because she understands it. But I do respect her for giving it one last try. I do hope that her son starts to show some initiative. I really do hope because I root for everybody black. I really hope that he figures it out. But if he's lost, he needs to admit it and take steps to become found. Shit. He got to do something.
right. So we're wishing the best for him. As once again, I'm hoping that he really finds it too. But Nico, if you watching my channel, come up with a plan B. If you're an artist, it don't matter what it is. Always have a plan B
I
because
review probably thousands of artists by now, and
mhm,
almost every single one of them has a job. And a lot of them will say it's solely to support their music.
yeah,
Like you cannot quit your day job. It's a real thing. Keep your day
no, you
job.
can. And I'm about to get once I'm healed, once I'm fully healed, I'm about to get a second job. Gio wants me to Uber, and I'm just like, oh Lord Jesus, I don't know if I have the capacity to do
You
that. But
wouldn't
we'll
do.
see.
Don't do that, James. Please don't do that.
He just
It's not.
thinking of like something that's
I
easy
can
for
hear the
me.
phone calls now. This bitch thought she was going to throw up in my motherfucking car. No,
She
he's
know
gonna be
me
like,
too well.
he gonna be. You better get on a plane right now. I'm going to jail. I'm gonna be like, oh hell no! Please
Yeah,
do not do Uber,
you already
please.
know. Trust me, he want me to do something easy, and I'm like, look, I
Somebody
have
go
to
get
think
in his
about that,
car, smelling like it's 100 degrees outside.
and I'm gonna be like, get your ass out. I'm gonna cancel this ride right now. So yeah, that's why I know I can't. But I'm gonna try to find something because I need to get these books out. Like I really do. I gotta stop playing. But moving on, y'all. The next thing we gonna do after we end the parties, we have a little meetup with Elena Manira, sorry, Manira. If you watching me, baby, I am so sorry. Manira and Labrina. They're the married ladies of the group, and they're kind of catching everybody up. What we learned about Manira is that her mother and her husband did not quite see eye to eye for a very long time, so they went out on a date without the children. They went on a date, and it kind of opened up, for them to have some conversations and kind of genuinely know each other. And I feel like Manira, why we didn't see this? I mean, maybe your mama or your husband didn't want to be on camera, but why at the end of the show are you just now bringing this up? We've heard your struggles. We saw you in your business and content, but this is what we want to know. And this is why I say reality TV, y'all got to understand what y'all are signing up for when y'all do this. Yes, it's a platform. Yes, it's a market. Yes, it is. But also there has to be some personal struggle for you to connect with the audience and for them to connect to you. Because like Labrina, we don't know which way you go. So now this is something that now has warmed us up to at least me. And now the show's gonna go off after next episode, and we don't know if y'all are coming back or not. So this is something I would have loved to have learned about you well and before. Mrs. Best, how'd you feel about Manira's story?
Um, Manira kind of annoys me. She's overly sensitive to me.
I agree.
Yeah. That's
And
really
not
it. I think she's beautiful. I like her openness that she's sharing with her family. I do think she has a storyline, but she also seems like someone who's just a little bit hypersensitive. Like the smaller things will set her off.
hmm I
But
agree.
that's really all I have to say about it. To
I
to
just want
be,
her
um,
to I want her to stop being afraid. Because to me, she gives image is means a lot, and I get it. She's in the business where it does, but dang, girl, you could at least open this up a little bit more to you. But the ladies are also here to also comfort Elena because, from what we understand, Josh has agreed to go to a therapy session from what we learned last episode, and and we find out a lot in this counselor. So that's why I'm moving this scene along because I want to hurry up and get there. But from what we understood, he agreed to do the session, and she's hoping that this puts them in a forward path. And this was before we understood what that forward path would take, because when we unpack what Josh has done in the course of this 15-year marriage, Elena, we're going to have some words after this. So let's go ahead and get to the session. Is there anything else you want to add before we move on, Mrs. Best?
No, you good.
Okay. So now we get to the session. Elena and Josh show up separately from each other. And the therapist, once Josh gets there, asks him, like, so what is your intentions behind what you want to accomplish? He goes, I want to make sure, I have what God has for me, and some answer like that. As soon as he said that, I said, this would be some bullshit. Men, it's okay to be a man of faith. It is okay to rendering God and putting him in the forefront of life. But when you have to understand something is that when you do that, you're also putting God in the forefront of your mistakes as well. And you made that mistake humanly. God didn't tell you to go cheat on your wife. God didn't go tell you to make her and have this contention in your marriage. God didn't do any of that. So don't try to put him in now, because to me, I look at that as a form of manipulation when men do that. I do. Because to me, it puts you in a path where any accountability you about to take, you about to make an excuse for it. So I don't like that. Mrs. Best, how did you feel when he answered that question throwing God up in it? Hi, Dimples on Demand. Thank you for being here. I've missed you.
Hi,
Love you.
Jumpers on Demand. I wasn't surprised. It's a common thing that men in the South do, but I'm just really annoyed with. I think she knows that this is done, but either wants to hear a counselor help her confirm it, or really wants to give it one last try. When she said this man cheated on her while they were engaged, and
And
you
she still
still you
went through
s-
with the
you
marriage.
still married him, and he cheated on you after proposing to you. How do you have the epiphany that you want me for the rest of your life at the same time that you are dropping D off to the next bitch? So honestly, it sounds like he has shown her what it is from the beginning. I think she's just gotten older and probably started to value herself more and is finally done with it. This counseling session to me was obnoxious. Nothing he said surprised me. Um,
He didn't say anything. That's the problem.
I don't think that I feel like he wants to stay with her more so because of the aesthetic and how she looks on his arm and what she has. I don't think he wants to stay with her because he loves her and wants to rekindle the spark or the relationship.
No, not if y'all have been in a contentious space for 15 years. And I can say contentious space for 15 years because she said he cheated before they got married. So my gripe is really with Elena on this one. It's not really for him because he ain't shit no way. But for me, Elena, if the man cheated and you knew, because I thought maybe she didn't know that he cheated, and maybe she found out in the marriage that he had did it. But in this counselor, so she said she, at this point, thought about it and was like, okay, well, I had to connect with me and everything, so I still went through with it. When she was saying, I was like, Elena, that is deception before you marry. So you do realize that if he did it once and you didn't give him any punishment for it, he was going to do it again and again and again. Because now he's trying to figure out how much he can actually get away with. And you, a few years ago, moving out the bedroom or doing whatever you did, that didn't do anything. That didn't separate y'all. That didn't do anything but just clearly just make him feel like, okay, she's moving differently now. She's, not being as attentive to me now. So now I don't know what to do. And now she done got herself on this TV show where it's about to make me look like the bad guy because of what I've done. That's all that this did, is make him look like the bad guy. And unfortunately for some men, that's not, something that's going to have ramifications. It's going to be something that probably is going to glorify him because these women in today's time love them old cheating ass men. I don't know what the hell's going on with today's society, but that's what they like. And I'm sure there's women in his DMs now. I'm sure that there are. So it's like you don't value you enough to say, okay, I'm not something to play with. Because you should have never married him if that's what he did before y'all got married. You should have never married him. That was your sign to get out. But you stayed in it, and now 15 years later, you now want to make this decision. I mean, I guess better late than never, but man, you have to value yourself more. You are extremely beautiful. You are well connected. You have a great career. You have everything going for yourself. And this happens to a lot of women, you guys. It's not just her. It's not just Elena. This happens to a lot of women. A lot of y'all can't see past, and I really feel like, and I could be wrong on this, and I don't care one way or the other if I'm right or wrong. But a lot of y'all, especially Southern women who live in the South, a lot of y'all don't want to be alone. And to me, that's sad. That if you didn't want to be alone, that you would just stick with someone who has cheated on you, I guess, multiple times. Because I'm sure that wasn't the first time. I'm sure it wasn't. But it's sad. So I feel like for me, I don't care what he says next week. That's not good enough for me. For you to continue doing that because you knew what you was doing. And you could have walked away as well. If you knew you didn't want to be with her, or if you knew that you weren't really that into her, or whatever it is, whatever reason you have cheating, you didn't have to string her along for this. You could have easily walked away and lived your single life and been wild out there. And then when you were ready to settle down, go and find you someone to settle down with. You didn't have to string her along for all these years doing all what you were doing, sir. So I'm over this. Like that last scene pissed me off. So I can't wait for next week's episode because as a content creator and as a reviewer of this show, I was really pissed at both of them equally. Because I feel like we living in a society now where getting in relationships are even harder to do and keeping them are even harder to do. So let's not be in them because they're convenient. So that's all I'm saying. This is a special turn.
I mean, they're both at fault. You don't marry a man who cheats on you after he proposes. Um, she just seems like she might have settled to try and have the fairy tale, the dream, the boy, but they definitely don't need to be together. I really don't care to hear or see the rest of it. It's very clear that we knew it was infidelity before she even exposed that it was infidelity. Everybody could see that from a mile away. Um, but yeah, I don't see it for this couple. I don't want to keep seeing counseling sessions. I want to see her file for divorce personally. If you're staying together for the kids, that's a weak excuse because you do more harm to the kids staying together than you do separating. But, that's my opinion.
And that's another thing. I need y'all to stop acting like kids are oblivious to their parents. Like kids know when something is off. Kids know when something is wrong. And a lot of y'all say, well, we stay together for the kids, or we're not separating because we don't want the kids to be disrupted. They're already disrupted because they're looking at your behavior. They know that something is different between the two. Mommy's in one room, daddy's in another, when they know that's not what it originally was. So they know that something is off. And a lot of y'all use y'all kids as scapegoats because you're afraid. And it's okay to be afraid, but y'all need to admit that to yourselves. You need to admit, I am afraid to leave you because I don't know what that looks like. And I'm just not ready. But like I said, to each his own. I know I couldn't do it personally, whether it be cheating or just contention in the marriage. I know I could not do that. The second I feel like something is off, I'm pretty much questioning it, and then depending on whether or not I need to stay in it. Mrs. Best will tell you, I will question some shit in a minute. I do not let things fester. I'm just not that kind of person. And depending on what your answer is, if it's good enough for me to be like, okay, I can somewhat understand that. And if you're honest with me, I can give you another chance, or I can just let that situation go. But I'm not the person that just sits and let things fester and just let things hurt me. I've never been that kind of person. I just not. I would walk away from something in a minute and have absolutely nothing. I've done it before. I was in Florida, walked away, did not left everything. There's things that my dad gave me in keepsake that I'm not sure if that man still has or not. But I left it because at the end of the day, I had to get me up out of it. My dad said, you know what, you have to do what you have to do. That stuff can be replaced. So I'm not tripping about that. I want you to be safe. So that's why I'm saying, like, we need to stop getting in positions when we have children that we need to stay in something because we're afraid of how they may take it. You sit down and talk with them. Kids are a lot more mature than people want to believe. They may be upset at first, but they will get over it because they're going to understand sooner than rather than later that life has to continue to go on. So that's all I'm going to say. Anything else, Mrs. Best, before we go ahead and end the live?
No, that was about it. Well
Okay.
said.
All right. Well, what I'm gonna tell everyone else that live life for you, and that goes, with this title, "The End of an Era." I'm hoping the best for Latoria. I'm hoping that this decision definitely brings her a lot of success. The same with Ro. I hope your decision brings you a lot of success. We are proud of you guys for making these decisions. Also for Elena, I want you to love you first. I want you to love and value yourself first. I want you to pick up and bring your life to whatever center you need to escape continuously getting your heart broken by this man. Because I think 15 years is enough time of punishment for whatever decision that this was for you. So please do better by yourself because you are way too beautiful and way too accomplished to have your personal life suck you down like this. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. My name is James. This is Watch Your Mouth Reviews. Mrs. Best also has her channel as well. And we may be here on my channel tomorrow for another live. I don't know. Mrs. Best works. I'm still recovering, so we will see. But we love you guys nonetheless. Thank you for being here, and you guys have a great one.